What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Sharog, and I wanted to do an encore for Sharon Rogers because I saw a lot of healthy criticism in those comments regarding my gameplay, that maybe I was playing the character wrong, and I wanted to do another video about her as fast as I could to really kind of represent her a little bit better than what I did in that last video. Now, something to keep in mind, guys, whenever you're doing these videos and you're doing your runs and you're not editing and everything, you're just jumping in there off the cuff and you're just running through World Boss. A lot of variables happen, and I even said in the last video that I didn't play her very much. However, I have got to practice her quite a bit since then. I've spent the last couple hours playing Sharon Rogers, and I've definitely got a lot better handle on this character, but I still stand by a lot of the things that I said in the last video. I mean, it is an upgrade, it is, but I still think, in my opinion, that it's really more of a Black Friday uniform, unless you're in a hurry to get it. I mean, it is an upgrade from the Star Knight uniform. It is better than this uniform for sure. And there were definitely some things I was doing wrong whenever I was playing this character. One thing is, I think there was a little confusion also with the procs. In the last video, whenever I was playing against World Boss, well, let me back out here real quick, kind of jumped in the skill preview, but let me show you something. So whenever you're playing with a Mighty CTP that has a proc on it, a beatdown proc like this, there's going to be two procs up in the top left-hand corner, and the one farthest to the left is actually going to be your beatdown proc, and the one to the right is actually your actual damage proc, that's 200% for one attack. So that's something to keep in mind when you're actually watching these runs. I think there was a little confusion in the last video regarding that. And I just want to show you a rotation that you can try, but it's really funky and it's definitely not easy. Now you can actually cancel the 1-2 skill pretty damn quick, and it would actually be like 1, 2, 3, 5, delay, and then go into the 4. And then after that, you would wait a little bit and it would be 1, 2, 4, 5, 3, and then 6, right? Now, that's a pretty tricky rotation to run through because you're trying to involve the 1 and the 2, but you absolutely can do it. Now, if you're standing from a distance and you do the 1, what'll happen is a lot of times that for some reason it seems to set off the proc, but when you're really close to the target, you cancel the 1 into the 2, you can absolutely do it. Right? You can actually do it because you're trying to build up that charge on that tier 3 so you can use your tier 3 more often. This is going to allow you to do a lot more damage over time. So actually the difference between this uniform and the other uniform is actually better whenever you play her a little bit more optimally. Now in the run you're going to see I don't exactly do that because there's moments in the fight where I see an opportunity to take damage. So I might just go 3, 5, take a little damage and then go into the 4, right? Because if I go into the 1, 2, maybe I'll take damage that I don't want to take. I won't have my immunity up or something like that. So I might play it a certain way because of that. But I mean, again, if you're trying to do a certain rotation, you're trying to go every other rotation with your tier 3, it's like 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, and then 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, tier 3, right? It's really, really tricky whenever you're trying to play this character. And that's kind of a caveat, honestly. I think for a lot of players, if they're trying to play her in that way, they're going to be like, oh my God, I got to, go through all these skills and go through all these buttons. And that can be kind of a pain, I say it all the time when it comes regarding to characters. The easier they are to play, the more fun that they are to play for most of the player base. There are those players out there that want a little bit more difficulty, they want a little bit more challenge, they want to involve a little bit more skill. So they actually would prefer maybe something like this. In all reality, there are players out there that do really like this kind of thing. I personally am kind of in between. It depends on my mood. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. But I really wasn't playing her the best earlier because, again, I was just jumping in there and doing a run. And I wasn't editing anything out. I didn't pre-record any videos or nothing like that. So we're going to go ahead and pull up a run that I did that I think will be a little bit better than what I did earlier. And we'll go ahead and cue this thing up here. Let's go. All right. I actually had to play on my iPhone because my Samsung's battery actually went dead. So we go 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, and we try to take some damage. Now notice I'm going to try to keep procking on the 4. Now remember, you got 2 green procs in the top left-hand corner, and the one furthest to the right is your actual damage proc, and the one on the left is the beatdown proc. So here I'm trying to take a little damage, and then I go into the tier 3. And you will do more damage on your tier 3 if you do take a little damage. You will. If your accumulation is up before you hit that tier 3, you will do more damage. You'll still do a lot of damage when you hit the tier 3, but it's better if you take a little damage. Something else that I've noticed about the character is if you just kind of go more balls to the wall. In the runs I was doing, I was like sitting there waiting around and trying to take damage. And you really, I mean, you do need to do that, but because their force scale isn't an iframe, you actually have a little bit more leeway to go through the 3-5 delay and then go into the 4, and you have a little bit more leeway to actually catch some damage, right? So it's actually a lot easier to catch damage. Now, when the tentacles come down, a little tip that I can throw out for you is if you're aware that they're going to come down, like you'll see Null raise his hand. If you go 3-5 and wait a little bit and let one of them tentacles smash on you after you do the 3-5, then go into your 4 or your tier 3, you're going to do a whole lot more damage. Yeah, big time, you know. And, you know, this is stage 25. I tried stage 29 quite a few times, and it just wasn't the greatest. Like, I think that maybe if her uniform was mythic, maybe I could. It's still normal, but very, very difficult, but still. But she did this with relative ease. This wasn't really too bad. And something else that I want to throw out at you guys, and I'm not really sure why this is, but whenever, in the last video I did, I was going 3-5-4 before Null would attack me. And I want you to watch what I do now. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to hit the 3-5, let him hit me a little bit, then I go into the 4. If I go 3-5-4, Null debuffs me and then starts doing a lot of damage to me. So I lose a little bit of survivability, and of course we lose a lot of damage because our 4 got interrupted. Whereas if you play her like, you know, what we did with the Star Knight armor, you just go 3-5, you know, delay a little bit, take a little damage, then hit your 4. You'll find you won't get interrupted. You'll be able to do a lot more damage. It makes a huge difference. And that was something I definitely was doing wrong in that last video, amongst, you know, putting the proc in the wrong place, you know. So, I mean, it is what it is. We all make mistakes. And I just want to make this video to kind of correct it, right? To rectify it. And to show Sharon that love that she really deserves. Because I really do love this character. Notice I took a little damage there, and then I went to go into the tier 3. Right? And we do have a little bit of the beatdown proc also. Come on, come on, come on, come on. 3-5, delay, get a little damage, and then go into our 4. And yeah, I mean, you just don't get interrupted. See, when I was doing this before, like when I was trying full runs earlier, man, I was getting interrupted a lot. Because I kept just going 3-5-4, 3-5-4. I wouldn't delay the 5, I wouldn't delay into the 4. You know, and you won't get interrupted if you do it that way, right? There's a brief moment before the invincibility kicks in, and I think that's why you get interrupted whenever you just go 3-5-4. But for whatever reason, it's just a lot better to go 3-5, take a little damage from Null, and then go into the 4. Or, you know, whatever character you're facing, right? I am throwing in some other characters here to do some damage because at this point, like right there, Sharon wasn't going to take any damage, so she really wasn't going to do a whole lot of damage. I mean, if I had my beatdown proc up, I guess I could have done a little bit, but I prefer just to use Scarlet because she has accumulation based on how much damage you deal, so I don't really have to worry about that, and she just does a little bit of damage. It's not a big deal. Now right here, I'll just go 3-5. I don't want to use my tier 3 yet, and then we go into the 4 and then murder them. Piece of cake, right? And we're not going to attack right now because I'm telling you right now, even with the decreased damage received that Sharon has, she will die. At stage 25, she will die. There's just, Null just does way too much damage in this part of the phase, and you will croak. I did a run earlier. I actually had a better run than the one you're watching, and I actually died because I went ahead and went for it. I had my tier 3 ready and went for it. Not doing it this time, right? Not doing it this time. And this is kind of one thing about having a beatdown proc, right? When you have the beatdown proc, you just go 3-5, cancel the tier 3. You get the beatdown proc and the tier 3 all at once, and yeah, you do some insane damage. So, I mean, a minute left over at stage 25, so she can definitely go higher than this. Like I said, I think if I had the uniform at Mythic, that old girl would probably do stage 29. I mean, it is at normal, and honestly, it's a pretty large strength of feat, or a feat of strength, as far as how strong the character is. Again, I do stand by a lot of the things I said in the last video, but I was wrong about how to play the character, that is for sure. And whenever you do play her more optimally, whenever you use a better skill rotation, as with many characters, you're just going to do a lot more damage. You're going to have a lot better outlook on the character. I actually was having a pretty sour attitude towards this uniform, but I gotta say my attitude's actually drifted a little bit. It's kind of like Shang-Chi, right? When I was playing Shang-Chi at first, I really didn't like playing with him. But then after I got him figured out, got his rotation figured out, it was a lot easier. And I gotta say, Sharon kind of feels the same. I do think her rotation is easier than Shang-Chi's, but it does feel about the same. Like I'm warming up to the uniform a little bit more, but I really do think most players really should wait for Black Friday, especially if you're trying to conserve on your crystals. So hopefully this represents Sharon's power a little bit better than that last video. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT plus 7 time. The link will be in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See you, everybody. Bye-bye.